What's up, guys? I bought myself a new motorcycle. Well, a new to me motorcycle. This is a Triton. And if you've clicked on this video, odds are you probably know what it is, but for those of you who don't know what a Triton is, let me show you. All right, so if you get a little bit closer here, come on and look. So a Triton is a Norton featherbed frame and a Triumph engine. So this is a frame off a Model 99 Dominator. It is a slim line. So the frames, these featherbed frames, they came with either a wide line or a slim line frame. And so for this example, it is a slim line frame, and it holds this beautiful Triumph engine in there quite well. And there's a lot of cool little details on this bike. So let me show you some of these details here. All right, starting at the front of the bike, we have this really cool Eddie Dowell front brake. So that's a bit of a higher performing front brake, and I will tell you it does work quite well. Another cool detail we have is the dual chronometric gauges here. We have our odometer or rev counter for you Brit people, and we have the speedometer right there as well. And right now the speedometer is not working, and it's because the part in the cable is not going far enough into the speedometer for it to fully work. We have these cool little handlebars, but I think I will swap out the handlebars for some lower style that were originally on this bike. And then we have nice details on this headlamp, but the bad thing about this headlamp is, one, well, there's a lot of water in it, and that's because it was in the back of my truck on the way home from buying this bike, and there was a bit of rain, and so there's water in the headlamp, and it's a Minda. I'm not sure why they didn't put a Lucas on here. So I have a Lucas headlamp on the way to replace that with. I think that'll be a better detail. But there's the other side of that front brake. Another cool thing is, so this stripe here, this is hand painted. You can kind of see there's a little bit of some of it's been knocked off, but you can, if you look closely, you can see the brush strokes. That's kind of neat if you ask me. And for our carburetors, we have our AMO monoblock carburetors. So when I first bought this motorcycle and I took it home, it would not rev above 2,000 RPMs, so it's not switching over to the mains. It was I did a carb clean on it, and it ran much better. All right, so just going out just to take in the whole motorcycle. This thing is drop dead gorgeous. I mean, look at that oil tank right there. Oh, it's so pretty. Then we have our rear sets here on our brake on this side here. Looks really nice. Hagon shocks. The tires are old, 09 and 08 date codes, so those will be replaced. I have new tires on the way. And there's another thing I liked, this license plate here. This bike was originally built in Wales, and I didn't really have the heart to drill a hole into this, so I kind of just zip tied my license plate onto here. But coming around, so this is our cap for our oil tank here. Looks really pretty. It's a really cool motorcycle. It's really loud. That exhaust is incredibly loud. I'm sure my neighbors don't appreciate it as much as I do, but that's okay. All right, so there are some issues with the bike. I think I went over them a little bit earlier. So for example, the speedometer right here is not working correctly. I've figured out what the issue is. It's the cable, so I will be resolving that soon. Like I said, when I first got it home, it would not rev above 2,000 RPMs. So a carb clean solved that as well. And then also on the left cylinder, it wasn't fully running correctly. So I pulled the plug, cleaned the plug, pulled the carb again, cleaned the carb. There's some sediment from the tank in the carburetor. And then now it's running very well on both cylinders. It fires right up. It's a really cool bike. It sounds really cool. So yeah. All right, another detail that I'm not too crazy about are these handle grips. These are very small. I really don't like the way they feel when I'm riding. I like a bigger grip. I feel a bit more comfortable in a larger grip. So I have more new grips coming. Period correct style grips, but just bigger, and I feel a whole lot more comfortable on that style of grip. So I will update with another video once everything comes in, the headlamp bracket, and then I'll swap over the handlebars when the new grips come in, because there's not much of a point of doing all that at the same time. But on the handlebars, we have a nice little steering dampener there. That's nice. We have our dip switch here, a horn button, but there is no horn on here. This is for the advance, and then this is our kill switch over here. Another fun little fact is, so when this bike was built, it was built in Wales, England. And at the time, there were 2 bikes built. And then the other bike is now in the Barber Museum. So I think that's really cool. This bike has a few iterations of it done, and it's currently on its kind of second iteration. So I think it's pretty cool. So it'll look a bit different from the other one that is in the museum. I hope to go to the Barber Museum so I can go take a look at it soon, but we'll see how that goes. All right, now for the part that everybody wants to know. How does this sound? Well, this motor's been hopped up a bit. It's a Triumph Thunderbird cases, but the pistons are a bit higher compression and different camshaft and a few other bits. So it is tricked out a little bit, so it makes a bit more horsepower than stock. So it does have a bit bigger jets in these carburetors as well. But I will kick it over for you guys. It might still be, yeah, it's still a little bit warm for me riding it earlier. I'm not going to ride it in this video, but the next video on this bike, I will be riding it and taking you guys along for a ride as well. I have one more issue I do need to resolve. It wasn't idling, and so I adjusted the idle. I took it for a ride today. Now the idle's a bit too high, so if it's a little bit high in the video, that's why, but I will adjust it down. All right, so I'm going to pick up our foot peg here, and we'll give it a kick. First kick. All right, guys, well, that's a quick little video on my Triton here. I figured I would share. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There will be a video coming out soon of me riding this Triton and just kind of enjoying it. But the first thing I have to do is I have to get new tires on here, new grips, and I'm going to change the handlebars. So on that next video, I'll be changing out the handlebars. The tires will be already swapped out probably, and a new headlamp as well, because I think it deserves a proper Lucas headlamp. All right, that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you and have a good night.